And you point out that more than $100 billion in airline miles and hotel points actually go unused and expire every year. So talk
every
to us
year.
about how a person at home who's watching this can donate their airline miles or their hotel points to help people get shelter.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's
And if
newsman,
you're just
Logan
joining
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're examining one of the most urgent crises in America, homelessness, and a bold new blueprint that claims we can end it in just 3 years. The name of the book, The Homelessness Fix. It is written by author and reform advocate Claudio Bono. And in the book, he presents a revolutionary, data-driven, compassionate-powered strategy called givearoof.org, already stirring viral conversations and capturing the attention of voters and leaders across the globe. This is a powerful blend of memoir, research, and activism that challenges broken systems and offers a real scalable path forward that could transform communities across the country. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Claudio, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Good morning, Mr. Crawford, and thank you for having me.
Good morning, sir. Great to have you on the show. This is such an important book, and this is right in your wheelhouse. You're a hospitality expert, a veteran who has worked for decades housing people, short-term, long-term, in the Silicon Valley hotels. Talk to us a little bit about your dream to house people in with dignity and according to your plan.
Well, givearoof.org was born a few years ago, 2 years ago, close to three, when I realized that after the pandemic, the homelessness issue increased. Even here, home to Apple, one of the first $1 trillion in the world, right here on our backyard, we do have homelessness that spikes more than ever before. And you probably may not know that, but hotels have been struggling. It is one of the very last industry that has not recuperated because of corporate decline. So here we are in California and throughout the United States, as well as around the world, with empty rooms that obviously could house temporarily any individuals facing homelessness. And as the president-elect of the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce and linked with businesses, I see the struggle everywhere. Newscast and information about Silicon Valley isn't the best, same as around and across the country. So therefore, I give a roof stem to the fact that I did meet an individual that basically needed some assistance, and that's where Give a Roof started to be born, with ideas that expiring miles and hotel points and credit card points could actually be in the mix to fix one of these global issue that everyone makes it such a huge issue, yet it is fixable.
Yeah. Talk to us about the challenge of perhaps mixing regular guests there on business or vacation with the homeless community.
One of the strongest stigma and roadblocks that I did face is that as a hotel general manager, when I said that we could welcome individuals facing homelessness, is that everyone believes that we would welcome at the hotel anyone coming with the image that is set in our mind where
Yeah,
anyone would come with their dirty bags or not coiffed perfectly or
right.
smelling, all the stigma that goes around it. But givearoof.org and being myself in nonprofits for over 12 years, first and foremost, those individuals are always everyone. If you take a poll and anyone says, well, homelessness is just basically substance abuse or mental issue. It's been 12 years I'm assisting in homeless shelters thanks to the Cupertino Rotary. And this is how I put my assistant there to realize that the stigma is stronger than reality. What givearoof.org does is assess and triage everyone so that we can differentiate who has mental issue, who has substance issue, or a matter of bad luck. Those, and we're talking about students, mothers escaping their
Domestic violence or
sick.
something? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Domestic violence that might be escaping in some
That is
cases. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think the stigma is stronger, but then again, what we're doing with givearoof.org is triage and assess everyone so that they can also be taken under the care of nonprofits, which means that they would be bathed, clothed, changed, so that they can seamlessly come in and blend with other guests, and no one would know that they are facing a homelessness issue. But also, you have to understand that it would be taken under the umbrella of nonprofits, so that free transportation, resume review, the opportunity to regain society is there with a time slot where they have the ability to re-enter society. We do have, everyone will say that there was such a program during COVID called Room Key. However, what one person never thought of is that they were putting everybody under the mix. And you do have indeed some individuals that cannot care for themselves. So how can you leave them alone in one room? So this program requires triage and assessment so that everyone can be redirected, because at the end we find that everybody has a personal story. And that's that data that we're trying to capture by creating also a federal database so that we can tackle the root cause so that it does not perpetuate.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that triage element is essential to make this palatable to the masses. And I think that's great that if you need substance abuse counseling, you will go here. If you need, if you have problems with mental illness, perhaps you will go here. And then people, like you said, who are just down on their luck for unforeseen reasons can actually be put into the hotels. And I think that's wonderful. You've already tried this in one city. Talk to us about what that city was and how it helped the community and how it helped the people who are unhoused go from the sidewalk to private dwellings eventually.
Well, and this is exactly on also how givearoof.org was born. I was walking my dog and therefore met an unhoused individual. And I had the choice. And I said to myself, first and foremost, it didn't fit the narrative. Was a very young man sleeping in a mattress right here at the corner of my home where I walk my dog every day. You have to understand that we have two choices in this society: or we assume on their behalf, or we actually take the courage and stop and listen and ask what happened. And therefore, you realize that there is some kind of assessment. I'm not a therapist, but I could have a conversation and based on that, determine if that person was deemed to be able to re-enter society. So I had two choices. And what I did is use my mileage point and hotel point and decided to go ahead and do something. And I did book a 10-night stay to find out that afterwards, obviously, I was making sure that he had brand new clothes, took a shower at the YMCA before entering the hotel, because as a hotel general manager, I kind of understand, obviously, the problem like we discussed earlier, to find out that with connection to a business center with Wi-Fi, he had the ability to reconnect with his family. And 8 nights later, because I booked a 10-night stay with points, not only was able to reconnect with distant family, but his distant family sent him a flight ticket, which means what happened in the end is that we had one individual facing homelessness out of the street. We had a hotel that was able to collect occupancy. The city got their TOT taxes. And in the end, 2 weeks later, I got notification that I also got elite qualification for the 10 nights that I had booked. And that's where I realized that that was a win-win situation for all.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's amazing. It's amazing that a little concern went a long way to change this person's life from sleeping on a mattress to in a park to reconnecting with their family and finding shelter for a number of nights. I think that's wonderful. And you point out that more than $100 billion in airline miles and hotel points actually go unused and expire every year. So talk
Every
to
year.
us about how a person at home who's watching this can donate their airline miles or their hotel points to help people get shelter.
Well, we're on an awareness program at this time right now. Giveroof.org and my book out on Amazon, which is poised to become a number one this week, actually, on poverty and soon on the memoir side, is helping everyone understanding that indeed, like you mentioned, loyalty points are made so that customers remain focused and loyal to companies that provides them. The largest one. And indeed, there is very little program to remind everyone that their points are about to expire. And we have indeed, like you mentioned, over $100 billion a day that expires every year. This is an asset that we can tap into, or I call it an untapped resources. We're only focusing on 5% of it, which is over $25 billion a year. These resources could help create welcome centers. I mirror them as so that everyone can understand, as a airline lounge. And the same program rise, you enter, you get a database. That database can be shared federally so that we can control the use and abuse. And also they will be fed. You have a food court, you have showers area, but it's also an area where you have all those substance abuse specialists. You have all the social workers there, all the life coach and therapists that can assign, assist, assess, and see who can be rehabilitated or who is willing to actually go back with this program, re-enter society, and have immediate temporary shelters. Those that do qualify are immediately housed towards a hotel that will have occupancy, that knows that in the end, these are vetted individuals that will blend seamlessly and that will not be a problem. Yet they will also be chaperoned by a nonprofit, giveroof.org, that will assist them until they are completely rehoused, found a job, and back on the way to society.
Amazing, amazing. This is a great plan. It's almost like the plan that was hiding right in plain sight. You know, like you said, we have a lot of empty hotel rooms. We have a lot of unused miles and points out there. Why not combine them together to give people a roof? Hence, giveroof.org. The country is so divided right now. The right, the left, they're at each other's throats all the time. Every issue that is thrown out there is polarized. Talk to us how you view this as a bipartisan solution.
Correct. But first and foremost, on behalf of the homeless individuals or and house, this is not a Republican and or a Democratic issue. This is a human issue and dignity-driven issue. And in the end, we are at this point right now where this plan has been sent to California Governor Gavin Newsom as well as the White House. We're calling for assistance. And once again, voters have made it clear that they do want this issue to be fixed. And it is fixable. And as a California resident, I can tell you for the past 6 years, $37.8 billion have been spent with, as you can understand, auditing. The auditors mentioned that obviously we cannot retrace the expense. None of us would know where are some substance abuse hospital or areas where people can go into, and therefore there's a lot of waste. I'm saying enough. We can eradicate homelessness in 3 years. It calls for federal assistance. It calls for anyone to assist us with this program, and it can become an American issue that we can all fix together. This is something that can call for corporate match and become a great program. And in the end, whoever embraces this, whether it's Democrat or Republican leadership, will get the votes for the midterm and beyond, because this is, again, an issue that needs to be fixed. The stigma are too strong. And whether it is New Zealand, Australia, Belgium, Italy, homelessness is everywhere, and we can provide a platform so that other countries can mimic how we fix a major issue that everyone think it's an enormous whale, but it's not. It is fixable.
Absolutely. And you've proved it with this book. And the solution that you present is very logical, very workable, and very reasonable. You can find out more at giveroof.org. And also by reading this terrific book. It is called The Homelessness Fix. How to Save the World While Everyone Else Argues About It. It is a powerful roadmap for anyone who believes bold ideas can change the world. Claudio, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work you've done on givearoof.org and on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.